Hello everyone, welcome to QAWithSJ channel. So in this series, we are going to learn Java concepts that are required for automation testing. Okay. So the first one is what is a Java and why we use Java. So basically, Java is one of the most popular programming language since 1995. Now it is owned by Oracle. It's an object-oriented program. So what is an object-oriented program and why and how we are calling it and all of these things we'll going to learn in OOPS concepts in the later phases, and it can be used to develop applications like mobile, desktop, web, and servers. So different applications can be developed using Java. So Java can support uh, it's a platform independent where you can develop the programming in any of these operating systems. And it's more popular and it's open source and free, and it has large community also, so that if you have any questions you can get the answers very quickly. Okay. So this is the basic syntax. So always keep in mind that whatever the code you have written under main function, I mean main method, that code will be executed. Okay. So we're going to discuss, okay, the first syntax and all of that. So before creating first syntax, in today's topic, we are going to learn data types in Java. So basically data types in Java are divided into two categories. One is primitive data type and another one is non-primitive data type. Okay, so primitive data type like byte, short, int, long, float, double, boolean, character. So all are primitive data types, and non-primitive data types like string, arrays, classes. So all these things we are going to learn in later phases. Okay, so basically primitive and non-primitive. So what is this data type, right? So why? So what we do with programming mainly. So in the programming, whatever the mathematical equations we have it, right? Those things will be executed with programming, and we can get the output. So to solve all these things, we can use the programming. With this, we can create the backend logics, applications, and everything, right? So coming to primitive data types and non-primitive data types. So let's suppose there is x equal to 10 and y equal to some 20. Now, what you can do, sum equal to x plus y. Then what is the output? 10 plus 20 is 30. Now you are doing something in your notes. But when it comes to the programming in the Java, it's a machine. It's a machine, right? It doesn't understand what x and all of that, right? So x is a number. We have to tell. Then int x equal to 10. Like int x equal to 10. So whatever you are seeing in the left side, this is the data type, and this is just a variable, and in that variable you are storing a value of 5. That's it, as simple as that. Let's suppose there is a box. In the box you put an apple. Now that box is holding an apple. Similar to that, this variable is as holding a value of 5. It could be anything. You can give x, y, z, my number, a, b, c, anything. Okay. So this is the syntax. So when it comes to primitive data types, so each one, when you keep it like int, when you keep it like byte, short, so it stores some memory in the background. So whatever uh, you define like int x equal to some 10, it will convert into binary format like ones and zeros. So machine can understand only ones and zeros. In the background, that's how it will happen, and then it will then it will like execute the programming using JVMs and JDKs. Okay, but anything if you want to define in the Java, you have to mention the data types. So these are the data types. So these data types will store some memory in the background. Let's suppose if something decimal numbers, right? Then we can use float. If there is some character, then you can use char. If there is booleans like true or false conditions, then you can use data type called boolean. So if you could see here, there are 8 primitive data types: byte, short, int, long, float, double, char, boolean. Okay, you can see sizes also. One byte equal to 8 bits, that you already know, right? So byte is for one byte, short is for 2 bytes, int 4 bytes, long 8 bytes. So this is how it stores the memory in the background. So you can see if there is something a long one, then you can use Let's suppose you want to store some mobile number, then you can use long. Int is for marks and sort is for salary and age is for byte, right? Basically we use int for all of this. When something is long, then we can use long, and some decimal numbers float, and double is for large decimal numbers, you can use it. And character is first to store the characters, right? A, B, C, D, either small or uppercases, all are characters. For booleans, either true or false, you can use that type called boolean. So let's see now. So for this, the requirement is you have to install Eclipse, and you have to install Java. Then you have to set it up in environment variables that you can get it from YouTube channels. Like then you can just do that installation part. Okay. So what I did, first I've created a project. There is option called create new project. Then you can create a new project. When you create a new project, you can see these two things, JRE system libraries. These are all Java kind of libraries. From this we can use it, we can execute the program of Java, and then SRC. So this is source folder. Here you can do right click and new. What you can do here, you have to create a package. So the package names we can give like this, okay, com dot data type, something like this. So it's a kind of, I would say, the folder. Okay, how you can save your folders in multiple subfolders, right? Similar to that. Okay, so here we have package. Under package, we'll create one class. Okay, so what is a class and how and all these things we're going to learn in the future, but this is just to create a class file. Okay, so we can create data types example. Okay, so by default you can select, it doesn't select, but you can select this and you can create. That's it. Now it is getting created for us. So you can see this is the class name we provided and this is the main method. So always remember, whatever you the code you're going to retain, that will be executed only under main. Okay, so let's write our first code to initialize, to declare variables int x equal to 10. So if you don't provide int, then how the Java will know? Then it throws an error. You can see that cannot be resolved to a variable. So you have to mention a variable. So int x equal to 10. Then what has happened? Then int is the data type, x is the variable, and 10 is the value stored under x value, under x variable, right? So here the syntax is data type and variable name equal to value. You can provide any value, and variable name also, it's up to you. Okay, and so what this machine does for us? You will give some input, it process it and gives the output. Not only this machine, I mean not only Java, it could be any programming language, it could be any mission in the machine industry, or at the end of the day we'll give some input, we expect some output, right? So how you can see the output now? So that for that there is a syntax called system dot out dot print ln. Okay, now in this, whatever the value you are going to give, right, that x. So what this line will do, there is a console in the bottom. Okay, so in this console, when you run this program, then automatically in this line, whatever the value that x is holds, it will print that. Simply this line is to, this syntax is to uh, print the values that are there inside it. If you don't provide, it doesn't do anything. If you provide, it will do that. You can see that. Right click, you can do right click, or you can go here and run it also. Okay, run as Java application. Now you can see that there is a console. Okay, it's running. Now you can see that what was the x value we gave? 10. So this x value is stored, the 10 is a value that's stored under x. We are printing the same. Okay, similarly if you want to store some decimals, right? Some decimal value, then you can give 12.5. So you have to give f at the end. I always don't give, type system.out.println. You can simply do sys out and control space. Then you will get the things in the suggestions. Then you can give this value. So you can give y, you can give z, you can give anything, but just to make it more, understandable format, I have given the variable name called decimal value. That's it. I'm just saving the programming. Now I will just run it. Run as Java application. Now what happened? Whatever the value we gave, it was printed. Like this, we have long float and all of this, right? We can check others also, other examples also. Okay. Let's suppose there is a character value, something like this. I'm going to give some a. Okay. Now let's print that. And whatever the code you have it inside the main method, it will run in a sequential order, line by line. Okay. And at the end of the every line, you have to give semicolon. Otherwise, you will get an error. Okay. Now sys out, control space. Then you will get the suggestions. That's the beauty of this. You will get the suggestions. Then you can print the value. Just ignore the spelling mistakes. Now let me run this program again. See, whatever the value it has, it will gives you that. Okay. Let's give some boolean is correct. I'm just giving the value as true now. So what I said, at the end of the every line, you have to give semicolon, sorry, colon, and then you can print like this. In Java application, when you write like this, you will get all of this. For long also, you have to add L at the end. For double also, you can give, so double, some double value. Okay. Now let me give some D, sys out. Okay. Double value. This is how you can run it. You can see this. Whatever the value have it, it automatically got printed. Now, so this is how you can declare the variables. So data type, variable name equal to value. And coming to non-primitive data types, string, arrays and classes are non-primitive data type. Why those are non-primitive? You got a question like, so you mean to say whatever you said is like some value storing a variable, and we are providing this data type to store in under memory. So when we define strings, arrays, classes, so those don't save under memory. You might get this question, right? So what happens? So basically in memory we have two things. Okay, one is stack memory and another one is heap memory. This is how the data is stored, heap memory. Okay, so when you when you declare variables like int x equal to 10, decimal value equal to this, and but with these data types directly, okay, this is the value of 10 and this is the variable called x, right? This is the variable called x. So now this x holds a value of 10. So directly when you define like int x y, like int x equal to 10, boolean some is correct equal to true, some decimal double value, sorry, double value equal to 12 or something, then store directly value inside the stack memory. When it comes to non-primitive data types, okay, like strings, arrays, classes. So when it comes to strings, we are going to learn later, but just for an example, okay, strings are stored like this. Okay, let me give some name kind John. Okay, now what this str, so here x stores the value of 10, but here this str stores 1 DFF. something like this. So what is this here? We have str. So this variable stores memory address of value. So what is the value we provided? John, right? So the John will store under here. So it has a value. The memory address is 1DDFFF. Okay. Now if you could see this, so this is nothing but this. So when it comes to non-primitive, those stores the address of the value that are stored under heap memory. When it comes to primitive data types, those directly store the value. That is the major difference. I hope you are clear with these topics. Uh, Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe.